You know, you can have the best skills in the world. You can have the highest degrees and the highest certifications and the highest of everything. Yet, if we don't have the mindset of it, it could be a struggle. Tonight, I'm going to talk about building the wealth mindset. How do we do it? And I'm bringing you the best to talk about this. Let's see. And hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining in and tuning in into the Quantum Leadership Hacks series, episode 89. I'm your host, Dr. Nabila Diab, and today we are talking about wealth mindset. How do we do it? Because you can be doing anything, trying your best and hustling and working hard, and that's the way of struggle. But tonight we are going to dissect, we are going to discuss, we are going to talk about the way of flow, the way of how do you get in the flow, in the spirit of the wealth mindset. How do you sell without being salesy? How do you sell yourself for a career you want? How do you sell yourself towards a business you want? How do you sell and make it like a breeze? This is the way of flowing into it, being in the spirit of it. And tonight, I'm bringing you the best to talk about it. You know, this lady is a financial alchemist. She just has to do her cadabra, and then she's a financial alchemist. She's a passive income strategist. She helps corporations and individuals build wealth and wealth mindset. And to be honest, when I look at her history on LinkedIn, I'm going to bring her on stage for you to get to know her. So I'm bringing Maisa in here. So she has a long history in sales, in business development, and then in operational leadership across various sectors, including real estate, her favorite, I know it, and development and investment. And through this journey, she has developed a unique way of doing things. Maisa Mostafa Vaidi was one of my clients, and she has an amazing, unique history we are going to talk about in a minute. And that's why I always think she is one of the best when it comes to talking about sales mindset, a successful sales mindset. Because you see, she does selling without selling, without being salesy, or without effortlessly. She's going to unpack it for us today. Maisa, you see, I'm so excited to welcome you to our Quantum Leadership Hack series. Tell us a little, welcome, and tell us a little bit about yourself, Maisa.
Well, hi, Dr. Nabila. Thank you for having me on your show. I think it's been a few years since we last spoke, and so much has changed. In fact, I'm looking at myself in the camera. I look completely different than the little sparkly-eyed girl that you met a few years ago. So I'm Maisa. I'd like to call myself the money girl because I got past my fear of money or having it or how to secure it. When I met Dr. Nabila, I was a single mom of 3 kids. I didn't have a dime to my name. I had just been divorced. It was Corona. There was no jobs around. I had 3 little mouths to feed. I was on the verge of even losing my kids. I don't talk about these things anymore, but Dr. Nabila has been there from the very beginning with me. So I want to give you guys an insight of who I am. But of course, it's a different story now. But I just wanted to say that that's who I am. And then when Dr. Nabila met me, she convinced me that there was more to me than I told the story to myself of being a single mom struggling. There was a different story that I could tell myself. And I said, you know what? When you are rock bottom, there's nowhere else to go more further down. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I tried this. Maybe I see what else is out there for me because I'm tired of everything I'm doing. So I can say that things changed very fast for me. Also because I gave myself the opportunity to believe like a little girl. And Alhamdulillah, we're in a different place. Thanks God. So that's who I am.
I love, love, love it. To give a little bit of background to people who are joining us, Maisa said it at that point where we met. We were, of course, on Zoom. It was COVID. It was lockdown. She was in Dubai, still is, and yeah, I was in Riyadh,
Yeah.
and there was just this. Device that was connecting us, and Maisa, she said it, she was in a place where things were happening, and she started doubting herself, and thinking, oh, if it's this, and it was a narrative. And in a different, I think, interview a couple of years ago, Maisa talked so well also about this narrative. Give us a brief snapshot into the narrative. How can we, so as my audience mainly made of amazing ladies, leaders like yourself, who are so good and so at the top of their game. I think you love this expression I use, and you are at the top of your game, yet we allow a little voice to tell us different. Tell us about that narrative and how it can literally change your results in life.
I think the story that you tell yourself is more believable than what the reality is, right? You could be in a home, you could have shelter on your head. So the narrative you tell yourself is the story you sell yourself, right? I've been in sales for 20 years and I didn't realize that I was selling myself a sob story, kind of like being in a victim place, like telling myself, you can't do that. Of course, you cannot sell that. You're not an authority in this space. So the story you tell yourself, when I met you, you told me a different story and it was so shocking to me. I said, there's no way this could happen. In fact, I only did the course with you just to prove that this is not going to happen, right? It's a different story. Yeah, it's a different story. And then the story I started narrating to myself took a long time, obviously, because you're conditioning yourself. The environment conditions you to believe you are a certain person, you look a certain way, you're going to put on weight, or you're going to, you know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
started narrating different stories to myself. I told myself, what if I did meet the love of my life? What if I did have a job I actually love? What if I did make money and I still had time freedom, like I can be with my children and not be at a desk job? Would that be possible for me? Why not? I can still dream. What if it doesn't happen? So what? So what? It never happened. At least I had a different story I was telling myself. That's so important. I know a lot of ladies listening to your show are obviously still obviously they are in fantastic positions and they are, fantastic leaders. But you're talking to a woman who literally was like going through the worst period of my life. And I believe that transformation just changed me as a person, because my self concept was changing. My self concept of me, of the story, of the why did this happen to me, was changing. My self belief was changing. My self talk was changing. I was telling myself, well, why not? Why can't I earn that much. Like, why not? So I started questioning, like, okay, this is the story. Okay, great. That's an amazing story. I was telling myself of why you cannot do it. But what if things change? So my self image started changing around the new story I was telling myself. What if I took myself out of that victimhood or victim mentality or victim mode? And what if I saw myself as a champion? What if no one believed in me? No one bought my products. So what? What if I believed in me and if I bought myself my products? Would that make me happy? That would make me really happy. Okay, so I started just with me. One person that believed in me. Well, you believed in me from the beginning, right? And I had two people now believing in me, which is me. I believed in me. I said, you know what? I don't know. I think that I'm beautiful. I have a lot to offer. I'm smart. Maybe I'm not smart in this, but I could learn. I could learn and add to my knowledge. Maybe I can learn new skills, and things change. When you take a chance on yourself, things change. People start taking a chance on you. You know what? That girl, she told me about that house. It sounds nice. Let's take a chance on her. We met so many real estate agents. Why don't we take a chance on Maisa? She seems really nice. So the story that the people were narrating back to me was the internal dialogue I was having already with myself. That's
I love it. I love it. And I still clearly remember that second month you were in TIR and we were in the group call and you brought the stacks of money and you said, "Girls, take a picture of this. This is real. I made my annual income become my monthly income. This is what I was earning in a month." And the
absolutely.
girls were, "Woohoo, what is she doing?" you know,
Yes, absolutely,
and that.
absolutely.
Mhm, go ahead. Mm.
I'm saying I've never seen that amount of money in my life working as an employee or a corporate. And in real estate, I'm sure everyone knows there is no salary. That's the only job I could take in Corona without any kind of proper qualification. Of course, I was very highly qualified, but during Corona, there was not many jobs, right? That's what I mean. So I took a real estate job. There's no salary, there's commission based. And I told myself, what am I doing? Well, who do I think I am doing this job that everyone else is doing? But I was like, you know what? Let me have fun with it. Everyone I met, I approached them like how I would like to approach myself. Everyone had a story. There's families that probably one breadwinner or earner lost his job and they're looking for a home and they finally are able to get a mortgage or they don't have enough money for a home. I'm able to get them mortgage. So I approached everyone like who I was before and I took a chance on them. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get you your home. Let me see if I can work it out. So I started taking a chance on people. So it wasn't, my approach wasn't like, oh, let me sell you this house and finish, sign the paperwork, give me my commission. It was like, let me help you out to move you into your home. You are renting right now. Your rent is higher than if I could get you a mortgage. Would you let me help you? Would you let me take a chance on you? And the dialogue is so completely different when people know that you care and you're there for their interest. I got invited to my clients' weddings, to their birthday parties, to their drinking parties. People see me as part of their family. I have one client from Tanzania. Every time he comes in, he calls me. He's like, "I need to meet you. I need to meet you and your husband," because it's family. We are always treated like family because I treat them like family. They're not some product that I can use. I started seeing the world as with the human touch, so to speak.
Right, right. This is so fundamental to selling. You see, even your kids, even your colleagues, even your boss, everyone is trying to sell you something. Like this
Yeah.
is the this is life, like, or the basic, if you like, a principle in life. Everybody is trying to sell you on something. Your kid is trying to sell you on, it's a good idea to go to this place or buy this toy or buy da 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 or whatever. And your colleagues are selling you on this, your boss is selling you on finishing the project within a timeline. Everybody is trying to sell you something. And the truth is, you said something so fundamental, which is when you come from a place of help. I want to help you. You, for a second or for a split second or for that moment, of course, you want to sell. Everybody knows this. But if you, for a split second, you put aside or you push aside the the idea of, if you take out that your desperate vibration, you're desperate to get the money, you're desperate to get the commission and so on, because that's inhibitive. Being in a vibration, I have to make the sale, I have to make the sale, I'm desperate, I don't have know how to pay the rent or anything, that's going to be very inhibitive. Whereas if you can relax your mind into just pushing aside for the time being the idea that the sale is so important for bread and butter on the table and what have you, and just relax into um, serving the people, into helping people, it's like magic, because you overturn things, because this
Yeah,
thing is going to come back to
absolutely.
you. And
Absolutely.
it bogs down the mind, because we think, no, no, give me the money and I'll feel amazing. And actually, no, it's the other way around. It's, you need to be in the vibration of wealth and wealth mindset, and that there is an abundance of everything, and there is an abundance of houses and of homes to people and everything, for you to ease into getting the very thing that you want. Does this resonate? Yeah,
Yeah,
Maisa?
absolutely. I have an analogy that I'd like to share with your audience today.
Please.
It's similar to a group of people that are cold and they're huddled together, and they need to start a fire to get warm. But what do they ask? They ask the bonfire, can you first make us warm and then I will give you wood? Okay.
Mm,
And the bonfire tells him, you need to give me wood first and then I'll make you warm. So it's the same analogy applies to any kind of business. Givers gain. Me as a person, what can I do for this client of mine? For example, he might never be a client, but what can I leave him with that gives him an increased feeling, that makes him feel like, you know what, I may never like buy or something, but I felt really good talking with her because I actually gained something. So it's a giver's gain mentality, especially in sales. Sales isn't like you sell insurance or car. You could be selling anything. You could be selling coaching services. You could be selling dentistry. Why should someone clean their teeth with a particular dentist and not the other person, for example? Teachers, schools, any profession you are in the world requires some form of sales. And the salesman, the salesy approach of the yesteryears, I don't believe in it, because I myself, when I started picking up sales and everything, I was always selling. I was always in corporate, but post corona, something's changed. Humanity entered into the chat room as we speak. And I started seeing people as like people. I want to help you as much as possible. So I started talking to everyone and I was so animated about it. I never thought about that, oh, I'm going to sell a house. I would I would go register my kids in their school and I would talk to everyone. I remember a lady, she was at the admissions office. And I just started chatting with her. I said, I'm in real estate. So what do what does your husband do? And are you renting? And they were like, oh, we are renting. We don't ever think that we can get a house. I was like, of course you can. You have a salary. You can get a house. So at that time, when I was talking to her, I was just helping her out see the bigger picture. The deal never closed then. I referred them a mortgage advisor that helped me buy my home. And I referred him to them and I said, listen, he doesn't charge anything. He could give you advice. A year later, and I completely forgot about my conversation, that mortgage advisor sent me a message saying, these people were referred by you. And I was like, oh, I don't even remember. He said, yeah, they just bought their house, they bought their home. I changed someone's life. I didn't even know about it. That kind of energy is amazing. It's fantastic. And guess what? They will always remember me and they'll refer me more people. And I didn't do it for them to refer me more people. You just do it with a giver's gain mentality. You're like, you know what? Let me see what I can do to help you today. And a year from today, 6 months from today, someone will remember you. Oh, I remember talking to someone and they seemed really nice. And I really want to know if I can do better in my life. That's all this is. We're a
This
group
is
of people, yeah, around the bonfire. We need to put the wood in. Everyone helps in, everyone pitches in.
absolutely. You know, actually, I do not agree completely with you when you say I haven't done anything. Actually, this
Actually,
is
yes, I
this
did.
is at the heart of things because you were sowing seeds. I mean, the only thing as
Yeah,
human beings is sometimes we sow seeds. But what you did was sow a good seed. This thought they could never, they were so afraid. They think, oh, these numbers of houses and apartments in Dubai, we can never afford them because we are teachers and so on. But because of their paradigms, of their limiting beliefs
yes,
that they assume that the number for renting is more affordable than the number for going on a mortgage and paying the house to end up owning it. So
yeah,
that's a belief that you help them change. And actually, when you've sown the seed and you've done it like in a humanistic way, the
true.
seed found the favorable ground, so to speak, to develop and thrive and grow into a tree and into one day this couple believing, yeah, why not, maybe we can do it, and then one day
Yeah,
say, sorry for my French, hell yeah, we can do it, let's go and do it. So
they
it
bought their
doesn't.
home. Yeah,
Exactly. And of course, it all starts, I totally agree, givers gain. And it all starts by sowing the seeds for it. Mesa, in and your history with selling and helping companies and individuals sell and develop their wealth portfolio and what have you speaks for itself on LinkedIn. For people, they can just go and check search your name and they'll find your profile. But
yeah,
you've always kind of intuitively been in developing yourself, in developing your mindset. Somehow intuitively you feel this is the way, and it helped you all along. But when you did, for example, TIR, you started saying, oh, if I do this, I get this. And if I do this, I get this. And if I change my narrative, I'm going to replace with this narrative. It becomes kind of like a step by step process.
yeah,
Um, like during COVID, how did this, and I want to use a word that you use, how did this alchemize
yeah.
into transforming your results? Because for people who are watching us, within 2 months, Mesa started the program and she said, Yalla, I'll be paying on a monthly basis. And then the second month, she says, you know what? This program has already paid for itself. I don't need it anymore. And Mesa, and I'm so proud of what she achieved within 2 easy months. She, number one, made her annual income become her monthly income with one, I think, a transaction to start with. And then she found the love of her life,
True.
with whom she's happily married right now.
Very happy.
And then she started going up the echelon of the career. At one point, she was branch manager in the Dubai area, and and she kept developing and growing. Um, growing and developing and creating more results and so on. It's the way of life, right? So
Yeah.
this the law of laws. It's create or disintegrate. And you seem to have effortlessly embraced this. Tell us a little bit about this, Maisa.
So for me, I believe profit is the order of the day, right? If you do something, you have to consider the profit. Otherwise, it becomes a hobby. So for people who have their jobs, you could be in a job, you could be in a business. If you're not making money out of it, it becomes a hobby. So profit is the order of the day. Because I was in sales, I knew I needed the physical manifestation of knowing if this is successful, right? I didn't just want to be selling houses and cruising by. I wanted such a big win to let me know, right? This is my big win. This is a profit. This is not a hobby for me. So I did my last salary. I multiplied it into 12, and I assumed this is the amount that I was making in my previous job before Corona hit. This is the amount I was making per year. And in one of the classes, Bob Proctor was talking about how we can do that in months. And I said, well, I have nothing to lose. I'm going to write that and put it in my monthly goal, for example. I didn't know how I'm going to achieve it. I just assumed. Um, but once I wrote it down, things started happening for me. I didn't actively go and market myself, but I took inspired action. What I mean by that is I never slept on a lead. I continued focusing on leads. I was just very positive. I didn't know how it's going to happen. The how was not my business. I just knew that at some point in my timeline, and time was not important. I said, you know what? At some point, I'm going to make that. It happened faster than I thought. It happened my second month of the program, so I kind of like didn't want to program anymore. So I did that. Then I said, then I one of my other goals was to be happily married. I didn't want to be like dating and dating and dating forever and forever. I wanted like a commitment so big that it told me that yes, this is because of the program, because of this is the new narrative that I'm telling myself. And I wanted to be with someone, not just to be married. I wanted to have romance. I want to feel like a teenager in love, and and we go on sweet dates together, and just to have that romance. And I found the love of my life, I think, in one of the conversations. I was actually at a dinner with him when we were dating. I had met the love of my life. We are happily married. We have 4 years together now since the time that me and Dr. Nabila
Mm-hmm.
had our class and sessions. We're happily together. We constantly talk to each other. And it's everything that I always wanted. We have romance together. We go on dates. And I also wrote down that he needs to be a great father to my kids, because my kids didn't have a male figure around. So he became an amazing father figure for my children. And, you know, there's a third win that I never even told you. I think I told you, but it was never in my goals. At some point in my journey, we bought our first home together because we were renting. And then I told him, what if we owned our own home? And then he was like, yeah, I'm game. He gave me a blank check and he said, what if whichever home you think is good? So we picked out the home that I wanted, because he had seen like 20 or 30 homes before that. And then he finally said, please pick one that you like, because this is coming down to your decision. So I picked the one that I like. I'm sitting in the home that we bought together. Pretty much, like our life is just like curated out of something, out of a book, because I dare to believe that I could have something more. I dare to
I
believe that, yeah, that I deserve more. And why not? I deserve it. So yeah.
I thought Fabio was the cherry at the top, but apparently there is something more than there is the
It's
house
my cherry on
cherry at the
top.
top. And I hope you still have the sapphire. If you remember, you
Oh, he
even took the
upgraded.
picture.
He keeps
Eh,
upgrading my ring. So I think this is a 4 carat clear
Yes.
diamond. I don't know if I'm doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen, Mesa, for people who are watching us and they want the manifestation, they want things to happen in this three-dimensional world and very quickly. They want to manifest the career of their dreams and the home of their dreams and the car and all of these things. But it's counterintuitive because most of the time when we think, oh, I want this or I want that, we think about, let me go and work hard and work hard and do this and do this and do this and add the hours and stay up late.
Yeah.
But you seem to be telling us that from your experience in manifesting, it's the other way around. And from the example of the fire, the bonfire, and everything, we have to relax into changing our mindset before we start taking action. Because big difference between taking action from a place of
Yeah.
struggle, which is going to be like, if you push too much, lead to unwarranted things like burnout or depression or anxiety or anything. But there is a point where if you do things in the spirit of it, it's like it's coming like from a flow place. It's coming
Like
from, yeah. Tell us,
so I'm
it
going to give you
needs
my
at first.
secrets. I'm
Hmm.
going to give the secrets away to Dr. Nibila's audience. You will
Okay.
never get what you want. Never.
Mm-hmm.
You will
You
never
get?
get what you want. You could write 20,000 things that you want. You could write one thing. You will never get what you want. You will get what you are. So, the
Absolutely.
first thing you have to do, let's say you want a new car, you want a new relationship, you want a new job or money or business. Um, Stop thinking as the person who doesn't have it, because that person does not have it. You cannot, you need to create a new character. You need to create a new character, define that character as having the thing that you want. If it's a new car, let's start with something like a car. I want to drive, for example, this particular car, which I got also my dream car without even like putting it on my book. I've changed cars so many times now. But let's get back to the story. So if I want a new car, I cannot think as the person because I want it. I'm not going to be attracting to it. I cannot like sit down and want it, and meditate on it. I need to think as the person that already has it. How does that work? You affirm. I drive whatever car it is that you want. I drive the Lamborghini Urus. I drive the Rolls Royce Culligan. I'm driving my dream car, dark blue Range Rover is my favorite car. Take a test drive, smell the leather, and don't be too picky. Be like, oh, how long is this gonna take? There's no timeline. Time is linear. There's no timeline. I thought I could earn my annual income in a monthly income, maybe like 6 months after the course. I said, okay, logic told me that I need to finish the course, do a paperwork, and then maybe I will understand the concept. It just landed on my feet because I just let it go. I let go of the how. So what if you tell me right now, oh, Maisa, but what if you don't have the money for it? Then how can you afford this car? Why do you have to pay money for it? Why can't someone gift you the car? I was gifted a car. I did not pay for it. I was gifted a four-wheel drive by my husband, obviously, but I did not pay for it. I didn't. And I welcomed it. I told him, thank you. I just said thank you. I didn't have to do anything extra. I didn't have to go out of my way. Nothing. I just said thank you to him, and that was it. I got what I wanted. You get what you are, not what you want. So change the character, remove the story of you not having it, create a new character. If I can create a new person that is happily married to the love of her life, I have money freedom, financial freedom. uh, I could decide right now to take a trip around the world and I would be fine, my kids would be fine, my family would be fine. You can tell yourself a new story. Maybe you want to be the best doctor in your industry. Maybe you want to be the best teacher. Maybe you want to be the best insurance sales guy without sounding too salesy. Maybe you want to be the best salesperson. Any profession, just create a new character, just be a new person. You don't have to push so hard and be so salesy or do a lot of things. You just have to understand what is your heart center, why you're doing what you're doing. If you don't like what you're doing, then do something that you love. If you had only 10 days to live, or 3 months to live, would you be doing what you're doing right now? If the answer is a resounding no, please quit and do something, obviously within financial responsibility, but do something you love. When you do something you love, it becomes like play. It becomes fun. You make money, you meet friends, you get to travel. If that's what you want, do something you love, give back to people, give back to society through what you're doing. So I'm in financial advisory. I believe that whatever I do educates everyone around me and makes them richer. And it's true. It's very true. So that's what I'm doing. That's my heart center. Yours could be different. Just find your heart center. If you're a doctor, why did you get into medical? Oh, I wanted to cure illnesses, for example. People think doctors get into the profession to treat patients. You don't get into the business to treat patients, you get into the business to treat illnesses. So what if you came up with a new cure? What if you came up with a new strategy of reduced back pain when you're sitting on the computer? You're your master. You can curate your own destiny, your own reality. So you could do and be in whoever you want to be. It's your reality. Just create a new one.
Yeah, you make things seem so effortless and so easy, and they are if you think about it. The truth is, and the kicker here is that we've spent so many years in our life being programmed, being in the matrix, being conditioned. Media is conditioning, TV is conditioning, the school system is
Yeah,
conditioning, everyone is conditioning us that progress is incremental, it's a step by step. Those big quantum leaps of making the annual income become monthly and so on seems like a
right.
little bit like a woo-woo or a hippy-dippy concept. Why? Because because of the many years of programming, where even when you get into the corporate, they tell you, oh, you're going to start here as a
Yeah,
sales representative, and then you're going to, and for people it seems like a painful process, because they know they deserve more, they know they can earn more, they know they can impact more, they know they want to give more. But the 3D reality and the number in the bank account and the boss who is micromanaging and
yes,
the environment doesn't seem, they look around and they're seeing no evidence of their goals happening, so they say,
yeah,
oh, these goals, they are kind of far-fetched and not realistic, and then they get back into the matrix and they say, okay, so maybe I'm not meant. And they try, of course, our mind is going to give us all kinds of excuses. Maybe I'm not meant for this. Maybe I'm not lucky. And,
yeah,
luck is when preparedness meets opportunities, just a matter of matching the
yeah.
opportunities with you being prepared to receive these opportunities. Now, this discussion is so, so good. What advice, yeah, Maisa, would you give to others who may be right now in a job loss, or who may be facing a
Yeah,
job loss, or are considering a leap into entrepreneurship? What do you suggest? What do you advise them to do? How would you advise them to proceed with such a big move? They think in their mind it's a big move and I cannot do it, and this is impossible, and my narrative da da da, and I'm not lucky, and da da da. And what do you suggest for them to do?
I would advise, like, if you're really at rock bottom and you don't see any way out, and this you're in a job you hate, you want to change your job, it's all about courage or whatever you want to do, for example. I would tell you what I did is like, if you're changing the story for yourself, do you have a role model that you look up to in whatever industry or whatever you want to look at? For example, for me, I had a person that I looked up to that was divorced, and she got a prince. She got married to a prince, and she became a princess, right? So I wanted to be someone's princess. I wanted to be someone's queen. So that's the story that I started reading and identifying with. So maybe you start to identify with people that have what you want to have. And maybe that's at least a starting point. Read stories on people that you want to be accomplished like. If you want to change your job and you feel afraid that maybe money will be an issue, watch movies. If you don't want to read stories, watch movies. Pursuit of Happiness was about a guy that used to sleep in the toilet with his child. His wife had left him with the child, and he would take his child on sales calls. But he had a different vision. He had a vision. He would play these games with his child where they pretended to be in dinosaur world. And every time someone would knock on the toilet, he would say, oh, this is someone trying to enter our world. So see stories like this that inspire you and say, wow, I can't be lower than that guy, and that guy made it. Come on, I can do it. So start identifying with people that you have what you want to have. You get inspiration from them. If you can't be inspired by yourself, start identifying with people that you want to be inspired by. Once you get the inspiration, now have a clear vision of what you want. You might think you want a new car or you want a new job, but what is the reason behind that? Oh, I want a new car because I can drive my children around. Great. It's the kids. You wanted the four-wheel drive because you wanted to be close to your children and keep them safe. Connect with that feeling. That's way more potent potent than wanting a car. Okay, I'm not saying wanting the car is bad. Want the car, attach an emotional reason to it. Well, I want a new home. Why do you want a new home? You live already in an amazing home. Well, because I want to create memories with my family. I wanted where my children fell down there, where the paint with their fingerprints is still there on the paint. This is where it rained one year, and there's still cracks on my wall from the year it rained. I want to create memories. I want to live in my home. I want to bring memories into my home. Fantastic. Create an emotional element to your goal. If you don't have an emotional element, you might steer away from the goal. So once you have an emotional element, you'll be more motivated to carry forward. You'll be like, you know what? I think this is really interesting. I want the same thing. When I was single, and I had no zero hopes. Young girls out here are being slaughtered by all these dating and everything. So I didn't even, I'm too old school. I don't believe in dating apps and meeting people online. So I was so against that. And it was Corona, so you could not even go out. So all I did is I used to watch this TV series called The Rain. It was a true story based on the Queen of England meeting the King of France, and they had an amazing romantic story. So in those years, they were arranged because of political reasons to create peace between the borders. That's how the marriages were sorted out. But these two young lovers made it work in their favor, and they were so in love, and they would do things. And I would watch these series and I would pretend that it's me that is being wooed and loved, and I pretended that I was a queen somewhere and someone was going to come to me. So needless to say, I was never on any dating app, and my current husband reached out to me through Facebook and asked for my WhatsApp number. And I had known him for 15 years, but we had never interacted that way. So he reached out to me immediately, actually. And then it was like, it was instant. Everything happened so fast. We moved into our home, we got married, we bought a home. Everything happened so fast when I was just in a space of letting everything go, and not worrying about how it's going to come. I didn't even think it's possible for me to ever find love. And it happened because I was not so stressed on the outcome. I just enjoyed my time. I'm not so stressed. Oh, I planted the seed. Let me pull it out and see if it's growing. I just enjoyed the soil. I enjoyed being alive. I enjoyed being healthy. I enjoyed having my children with me. I enjoyed having wealth. I enjoyed during Corona that we all had time as a family together and I could spend time with my children. And in this wonderful comfort came a beautiful man who we could share our love with. And we had the space for him. So you need to create the space in your life for the things you want. If you want a new car, get rid of your old one. Don't have a car. I did not have a car when I was offered a car. I was gifted a car. So make space for the things you want. You want new clients for your company, for example, for what is it you do. Make space for it. You make space for having, let's say you have 10 clients and you want 60, you make space for it. What did you do different from when you had the 10 clients? You need to do things differently. So that's my advice. That's my takeaway. I really hope you guys are inspired to do something different with your life and be trailblazers, in this thing called life, this wonderful thing that we are all living together in. And that's my thing.
Amazing. I love it. You have a lot of feedback here. Aisha sending hearts. Umama saying hello. We am saying thrilled to have attended this live session. Maisa's insights on transforming annual income into monthly success were truly empowering. Thanks, Maisa. These are some of the comments coming in. Maisa, this is a time where as we wrap up towards the end of our call, but your journey is so inspiring and true testament to the power of mindset in achieving success. In all honesty, you were one of the fastest manifestors uh, in terms of, you are doing like and it speaks to of course your coachability, because sometimes we are exposed to ideas that can really help us, but if we are in resistance we are not going to accept. But and I truly said, asked when we were going to work together, and I said, will you be coachable, myself? Will you accept what I say? And
Yeah,
you said,
that's it.
yes, yes,
Yes.
I'll do anything. And then
Thank
you were
you.
really coachable.
I'm still the same. I'm still the same. I'm very easygoing. And if you told me an orange is an apple, I'd be like, you know what? Let me believe that and see how it happens.
Then you are on that trajectory to the next big C type goal, Maisa.
Yeah.
Listen, thank you so much for sharing your experiences, for allowing this moment of pure openness, and because that kind of authenticity, that kind of when you speak your truth, it inspires, it gets to people. And I know from the comments we have here, you've already inspired a lot, because things like these, when they happen, it tells people it's possible. And then we all know, even impossible says I am possible.
Yes.
So thanks so much, yeah, Maisa,
Thank you for having me
for
on your show. I'm very honored.
absolutely. It's always a pleasure to have you and touch base with your
Yes,
updates and your whereabouts.
definitely.
My Kai also must be a handsome
Oh,
young
you're
man by now.
oh, absolutely. He's a wonderful, and he wants to be a pilot.
Oh my God, this is so good. There's absolutely no limit to the human mind. There is
Yes.
absolutely no, and by setting the example for
Yeah.
your kids, Maisa, you remember when you and I were talking about this. You have opened doors for them that perhaps were never possible beforehand. But when you pulled that courage from inside and you said, well, my back is against the wall, what is in there that I can lose? There's nothing to be lost anymore. So you pull that courage, you said it, you hit rock bottom, but probably rock bottom was meant to be your springboard for you to rise and float again, and go up to the surface again.
I just needed one person to believe in me. I didn't even know I needed that one person. And I think that, not I think, you were that one person. I didn't believe in myself. I'm not saying that to be sounding mushy or something, but that's the truth. When I talked with you, and I thought it was a sales gimmick, you were probably like, like trying to tell me, oh, you're wonderful, you're amazing, you can do it. And I was like, I've heard this before, but I told myself, and then you were consistent. You were following up with me. You were genuinely interested to see me succeed. And I was like, if this woman is believing in me and putting her time and effort into me, why can't I put a time and effort into myself? Why can't I do that for myself? If she believes in me and she believes I could achieve whatever I want, why can't I believe in me and achieve even more than that, like 1,000% more? I just had to switch my mindset. So now I went from, I don't know, loser mentality. Sorry to say that, but I'm talking about myself, like not about anyone else, but I switched it overnight when told myself, you know what? Everything always works out for me. Everything is always working out for me. And everything worked out for me like clockwork. Everything is working out for me. That's it. Everything works out for me. So that's the story I tell myself all the time. And it's not become a story because now I was talking to you. I want a bigger C-type goal. I've achieved everything I wanted to, and I want to do bigger and bigger things. And now it's like I want to give back. It's more like I want to give back. What can I do? How can I help? How can I be of inspiration? Because if you never contacted me, I'd be a very happy, satisfied woman
Amazing.
in my corner of the world. So yeah.
I love it. We have here Zahra, who says, "Loved this. This was very inspiring.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Zahra.
Maisa." And as usual, Dr. Nabila, you are amazing. Thank you so much, Zahra. You are next, yeah, Zahra. You are next. Come on in. And to our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in into the Quantum Leadership Hacks. This is how I finished an interview with Maisa probably 4 years ago, and
Yeah.
I'm finishing with it with the same line this year. If I can do it, you can do it. And Maisa also is telling you, if she can do it, you can do it.
Oh,
Uh,
you can absolutely do it. Please, you have more motivation, more organization skills, more experience. You are going to be amazing. You're going to do it. You're going to smash it. I want to hear all your stories. I want to be inspired by you. Give me your
uh,
story.
I love it. And remember, 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 the right mindset is key, and it
Yes.
precedes any type of quantum jump you want to achieve in life. It's the key to unlocking your potential. You unlock your potential. Working hard is important. Having the degrees, the certification, and what, this is skill set. This is 20% in the formula I teach now in my program. Manifesting your C type goal is 20% skill set. A skill set meaning you do the necessary thing. It's your LinkedIn visibility, your industry positioning, your network is your net worth, it's your degrees, and all of these things that are so important, and we know how to do that. Now the 80%, the rest of the 80%, it's mindset. It's how do you set goals, and how many times do we see people going around and they say, yeah, I want something better, but it's not specific, it's not detailed, they don't know how. And that's why 2 weeks in the new year, people have already forgotten about their new year resolutions, because they are not done in a way that the mind is going to appropriate and run with it. So it's about setting the right goals. It's about the self image, as Maisa said. It's about letting go of the fear. And how do we let go of the fear? Some people, get rejected in an interview and spend the 3 days binging on Netflix and sleeping in bed, crying because they got rejected from a job interview. It's a mindset. So take care of the mindset, and your mindset will take care of you. So it's the key to unlocking your potential in your career, in your startup, in your business, in your life. You apply it anywhere, you're gonna win on every ground and on every front you may choose. Final words, Maisa. The floor is yours. Where do we find you? What do you do? What do you offer? How do you want to help people? Where do you want people to reach out to you?
Well, you can find all my secrets in a book that I'm writing. I'm accumulating 20 years of sales experience and I'm putting it into a book, which is going to be launched soon. When you read this book, I think it will be a nice shock for you because all the sales techniques that I teach you have nothing to do with sales. It
I
has to do
love it.
everything to do with who you are, your self-image, the mirror principle, standing in front of the mirror and looking into your eyes and telling yourself, "I love you," and lots of other techniques that I've been doing over the years. And I think that this book, once you pick it up, you can apply it to anything in your life, as a family, to your children, to your colleagues, to your clients. You could apply these techniques. So my book is coming out. Support me by reading it, applying it to your life. I also do financial advisory at AIX. I provide passive income advice to you. So if you want to get into passive income, I'm your girl. But again, everything was made possible by Dr. Nabila. Thank you so much for motivating me to get on my path. I think the more and more I go forward, the more I have to discover. I think I'm not even at the tip of the, you know, surface. I keep digging and I'm going to find my jewels. And then above that, I'm going to find more treasure, more treasure. It's like a journey. So yeah, I'm writing my book. I am giving financial advice. I can give everyone financial advice. It's easy to get passive income. It's not scary at all. And I would recommend also, if you have a chance to change your life and do coaching, because you don't do it alone. Uh, Read something, listen to the coaching calls that Dr. Nabila does, do something different and you'll see different results. Insanity is doing the same things over again and expecting different results. So do the things differently and see if you can change your life.
Absolutely. And the people who are here are already indicating that they are serious about changing their lives. I have here Omama. She says, "Thank you for sharing your motivational story, Maisa. Dr. Nabila, as
Yes.
usual, great session.
Thank you,
Full
Mama.
amazing. Omama, likewise, she was one of my calls and she did amazing, amazing as well. A TIR student, perfect, amazing, great results, still on her journey, and she hasn't even, scratched the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. Amazing insights and inspiring takeaways. Thanks so much, yeah, Umama. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. And do not forget hashtag career if you want to have an overview. What is she talking about by 20% skill set and 80% mindset? I break down this formula, the two-step formula for how to change quantum leap your results and change your results, financial, professional, personal, in an amazing 45-minute masterclass. So if you want to have a look at this masterclass, hashtag career, and we will send you the masterclass right away. Meanwhile, take good care, and I'll see you next time, next Monday, same time, same place, next week. Thanks, everyone, and take
Thank
care.
you,
Bye bye.
everyone. Thank you.